Hey kids, this is Hex-Ray Vision coming to you live from Quattro Cinco Studios. It's been a while. Uh, I was supposed to be here with Rags to Riches, who was here till the countdown, and now he's completely disappeared. So hopefully he'll be back, and we'll be hanging out with him and asking him a bunch of questions about what is up with him lately. I went into a dark, quiet cave for a few months and have no idea what's going on in crypto. I came out and the price of everything was in the toilet. Um, and we had all these coins. We had our Pulse coins. We had our copies of Texan and Hex and all good stuff. And as far as I know, a bunch of the things that were supposed to launch on Pulse Chain are not ready to launch on Pulse Chain. So yeah, that's basically where it went. I went into hiding. Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's up, dude?
That was really good timing on your part.
And that's better timing. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So I was just telling these guys, I disappeared from the world for a few months, and I came back, and everything went to shit for the most part. So the good news is it can only get better from here on out. The bad news is the price of everything is so far below the surface of the earth. It's basically in like a mesocidal, down down in.
Yeah. First and foremost, how do I sound? Do I sound okay? Chat, how do I sound? Hexray's frozen here. Old Frozinho. Let's check chat while we're at it. Sam Kemp says, "Where you at, Rags?" Sam, what you talking about, Willis? Sam got a promotion, didn't you, Sam? I heard about that promotion. I think you guys can see me. All right, good. New phone. Who dis? Briz, what's up? Harmonic Hexkin, Hexray, glad to see you. He's probably gonna have to rug to restart, I'd imagine. Maybe not. Moon Mutt, glad to be here live today. Viber Finance CEO, 2 men on stream. Boom. The bromance continues. Red Squirrel, oi, oi, and he rugged. And now I'm the leader of the pack. Taryn, what's up? What's up? Hold on, that's freaking loud. That's clipping. SJ, what's going on? Hexy Quinn, David Lee, 10 top. Forget Rags. We want Kool-Aid's chair. Look 5 years younger than Max. Yep. Mudhog, loud, proud. Quinn says sounds good. Butter is smooth. Sound all good. Rags is good. So, yeah. So this was supposed to be a stream about him. Sam says I did get a promotion, but no raise. So here's what's pretty cool. Sam Kemp, this guy who hopped in here and has been busting his butt to learn everything imaginable about our crypto world. Sam, how old are you? You 27, 28? How old are you, Sam? Anyway, Sam has been tagged as kind of the liaison between the TNM and the crypto community. So that's actually what he's doing. He's teaching everybody in the TNM about crypto. And I think that's really freaking cool. And I think that's awesome. And this just flies in the face of all those haters out there who say that this is just all BS and we're just milking off Hexkins. If I got to hear that one daggone more time, man, oh, it is just brutal to hear. Tired of it. But good job, Sam. Sam, you friggin' earned it, man. You know more about crypto than probably a lot of people here in chat do. I'm gonna see if I got a text from Hex right now. Guys, I think the West Coast got EMP'd. 77 years old. Good job, Sam. I think maybe we should bring you on here and then we should ask you what are your plans to talk to people about this crypto stuff, man? I'd imagine it's going to be a whole lot easier when the bull market comes back. But we'll see. We'll see about that. Met Sam at the first Dallas meetup. Great dude. Yeah. John Kampala. Man, we got some memories, John Kampala. We got some memories, man. Viber Finance CEO. Got to see your take on PulseX, which was pretty interesting. And I tend to agree, guys. The thing about PulseX, here's what I'll say, and I keep saying it: PulseX is not going to do special things. I'll put a caveat on this. PulseX isn't going to do special things until volume shows up. When volume shows up, PulseX is going to freaking rip. It's going to fly. I promise you that. Now, what's the caveat? The caveat is everybody just thinks because Richard isn't talking about PulseX a massive amount, everybody thinks that it's just dead. It's dying. It's gone. It's only Pulse Chain. It's only Hex. Guys, don't sleep on it, man. I'm telling you, don't sleep on it. Fiber Finance says 5G towers are on military use. Look for bubbling skin. All right. All right. I'm going to put him on speaker. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't have any Wi-Fi or internet for some reason.
Oh, so I can just do whatever I want to your channel right now. So, do you have cellular? Well, what you could do, you could turn on your hotspot on your phone if if you have a wireless NIC on your computer, and you could connect to that if that's a more stable connection. Maybe.
I'm switching from the hard line to the Wi-Fi. See if that works.
Get her done. Let me know.
Conversation make it sound intelligent.
Bruh, I am carrying it, man. My back hurts right now. It's so bad. All right, bye. Davis says, what happens to the PulseX DAO? I'll tell you what happened, probably. And if you get into most of the SEC documents about DAOs, man, they are just targeting DAOs like crazy. A lot happened in 2 years, folks. A lot of quote unquote, well, I wouldn't say clarity. I would say it's come a little bit more in focus. But we're really starting to understand what that's all about. And he's back. What's up?
And I'm
dude?
back. I don't know. Apparently, like a hardwired Ethernet cord just isn't very reliable these days.
That's a little bit wild.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened.
Wow.
But man, look at these guys in chat. They're insane. You've
They
been
miss
talking
you,
to
bro.
them. I miss them. I miss all of the Hexicans. We had a last minute Hexican meetup in Salt Lake with Wild SJ and Fashion Coder and of course her dad. And it was just great to meet up and hang out and talk about all the things we're disappointed in the last month.
That's how that goes, man.
Yeah.
So what was everybody disappointed in?
Mostly the price of everything. And you know, we were supposed to have liquid loans by now. We were supposed to have a few other projects up right now that are still getting their wheels greased and getting their engines started. And so there's a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation, but still a lot of people playing on test nets instead of being able to deploy their actual capital. And so that's really what we were getting from it. And we kind of, for the first time ever at a Hex meetup, we ran out of stuff to talk about. It was weird. It's weird.
You
like
just stopped and started looking at each other, and then you were forced to actually connect on a deeper level. That was weird. Yeah.
Yeah. We were like, so do you like stuff?
That's when the drinks come in. That's when tequila comes into play. Just tell everybody.
I'm not gonna say that's where it went, but that's where it went. We definitely went into the tequila there. It was at that place that we went in Salt Lake. You never went to any of the Salt Lake meetups, did you?
No.
It was all Vegas where we were hanging out. But I was gonna actually start playing our very first interview.
Do it, man.
From like 3 years ago. And all the crazy stuff that I edited in there to try and keep people's attention.
Dude, I was like, man, you must have spent hours on that, dude.
It was days. I was learning how to edit at the same time I was learning that, you know, all that stuff's copywritten. So
yeah,
I don't know if that one's even live on my channel even more.
It's probably live. They won't counter copyright strike you. They'll just be like, hey, you can't monetize this.
Yeah, I think so. So going back, let's pretend that we we didn't have a weird hiccup in the middle of this beginning. Shout out to NT Fryer, David Lee, Torrin. Man, you got all the crazies are here. It's good to see you guys. You've been blossoming like a rose lately, I would say.
Oh.
I remember when you were back around 5,000-6,000 subscribers, and apparently telling people not to subscribe and follow has not worked, either on Twitter or on YouTube. Can you talk about the insolence of your audience and those that have bumped your numbers up towards, I think you're about 10K, right?
Yeah, and then I think we might have hit 14K on Twitter, so that's nice, I guess, relatively speaking. But yeah, in terms of insolence, it's just a massive disrespect, man. I've been begging these people. I've been begging these people to turn away. Been begging these people not to watch my content. Yet they watch it, then they get upset, and then they tag me on Twitter, and they're upset. And all I have to say is, like, do not like, comment, or subscribe. And I've been begging people to do it, and they just won't.
Don't do it, guys. It's not worth it.
So I pivoted a little bit. Okay. I'm actually encouraging people to take a look at my newsletter. Here's the outcome that I'm searching for. I think that this will actually cause people not to. However, it's only been live for, I don't know, 10 or 14 days now, and I've already had 300 subscribers. So I'm just like, I can't win here, dude. It's disgusting.
You're going to have to embrace it.
I guess, man. I don't know. I'm growing the beard. People are giving me props for the beard. I can't do anything right. And I'm tired of it, man. It's just exhausting. Exhausting, dude.
Now, you're committed to growing that beard until 10,000x? Is that correct?
Yeah. So essentially, Pulse X Hex Texan. And I'm going to be growing this beard probably by how things are going now. Probably when Jesus comes back, that's when I'll be able to. Well, I probably won't be able to until then, essentially.
So I think it's just every token in there, still 1 token 10,000x.
You, my friend, or Choppy is heck. Maybe you should try to take your video off. See if that helps the audio.
There we go. Say that again.
You might want to take your video off to see if it helps the audio.
Let's do that.
Okay. You got this, man. You got it. Take that video off. Just do audio.
There you go.
All right.
Is this any better? No more robot voice?
Yeah, you look like you've gained a little weight, though. You're kind of moon-shaped right now.
I'm pretty sure that every kid in my house, including the neighbor kids, is playing Roblox on full force right now. And it's just destroying my Wi-Fi. That's my guess. Dude,
Roblox is bad for a child's brain, man. Bad. It's a weird rewire.
Minecraft. Yeah. So like I said, just throw every token in there, and as soon as 10,000, you can go ahead and just trim up your beard any way you want.
Yeah, that's the goal here. I just have to create some sort of safety net for myself. But there will be a point of critical mass where I just can't handle it anymore. And it probably will be chopped off. But I'm going to wait a long time for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Now, where did you go into this?
I cannot hear you. You said something. I can't tell. But I hear you laughing now.
Yeah, let's try this again. Is that any better? That sounds
better.
Yeah,
I hear you. Sure.
We're going to try that one. Okay, good.
Okay.
Where did you come up with the idea for the newsletter? What did you think? I'm not enough like Rush Limbaugh. I need to do something that people 50 and over love, which is email spam. Where was that?
So where did that come from? All right. So the newsletter came from this. So if I am trying to reach a broader audience, there are a lot of people in crypto who are very successful with newsletters. And I think the primary reason is, well, I'll just roll with it here. I think the primary reason that people are successful with newsletters in crypto is because they have to actually opt into it. And I've created a double opt in. So not only do you have to put your email address in, but when you put your email address in, you click subscribe, you then have to go to your email and you have to verify that. So there's two actions there. And that two actions does a couple things. First and foremost, it makes sure that they're interested, and it cuts down on people calling me spam or unsubscribing this or that. But secondly, it kind of, you want 5 to 7 touches when it comes to marketing. There's 2 touches there already. So they had to take 2 actions to kind of have my thing. And that makes them a little bit more sticky rather than just reading a tweet. And the cool thing is that the people who are actually opting in are the people that enjoy my content. And I'm able to direct better content to those folks and have it shareable, have it in such a way that is actually easily digestible for those folks that are on the move. Most people work, and it's frustrating. So I've found that I am actually able to take my YouTube videos about 24 hours afterwards. I can bounce it out to text form. I can take that text and I can put it in Chat GPT, and I can basically tell Chat GPT to edit it in such a way that can be posted. So I have a framework, and then I could go back in and I can add stuff or subtract stuff. And it's just a real easy way to be able to take what I'm already doing and then put it in a different format that might be more easily digestible for folks. So that's a good thing. Hey, dude.
Hey, I went through the house. Nobody's on the internet but me, so I don't know what's wrong. I unplugged and plugged some stuff in.
Well,
Do
you
you
got a
hear
small
me
pipe,
now?
man, in the neighborhood. Yeah, I hear you. Now, what you might want to do, if this doesn't work, you could try to switch over to cellular. Click the link with your phone after this.
Yeah, if that doesn't work, then cellular's definitely the way to go. Now, you've been talking a lot about the Fed's rates, its effect on the economy, and then that effect of the economy on crypto, and well, really just the whole market, stocks, bonds, real estate, everything, right?
Yeah.
A year ago, you were expecting the Fed to pause their rates faster than they did, and they just kept hitting the accelerator. Is that correct? Or were you about the right in what you were expecting them to do?
I think we were within 30 days. So I expected that to be in May, beginning of May, but it was actually in the beginning of June for the pause. So we were pretty close on that.
Okay, cool. And
Yep.
has it had the effect on the economy that you thought it would?
Well, here's the thing. I think that it has not had the effect on the economy that I thought it would. All right. I think it has not had the effect on the economy the way that the Federal Reserve thought it would. So they're expecting to rug the United States. They're expecting to rug the world. They're making money much more expensive. They're making mortgages much more expensive, credit cards much more expensive, HELOCs, personal loans, used car loans. All this is more expensive. So theoretically, if money's more expensive and businesses don't have access to credit and regular folks don't have access to credit, it should slow things down. It should trickle down effect from the big banks, down to the regional banks, and then to the community banks, the small banks. What you have seen, however, is massive amounts of damage in the long run, and here's why. It's because some of these banks have not been able to keep up, the smaller banks. So what you see, as you see in every single cycle, is you see a consolidation of power. All right. So all these small banks close up, and then the big banks gobble up more, gobble up more, gobble up more, until maybe in 20 years or 30 or 50 years, there's no competition anymore. There's 5 or 10 major banks across the United States the government does business with, and they can much more easily control economic power. So that has been the real downfall. I think that the United States wants to be able to go produce, and that's one way that you can get out. You can either cut your rates, a combination of cutting rates and a bunch of other things the Fed can do, and actually stop, or you can print money to stimulate the economy, or you can beat inflation by outproducing. So what is inflation? It's just an excess, okay, an excess of money. And people use that excess of money to buy a finite amount of goods. When those goods go away and that money is artificially pumped, it causes prices go up. So what's the other side of that equation? We'll produce more stuff. And that, I think that might be one of the things that we're doing, and it hasn't had the effect on the economy that the Federal Reserve and a lot of other folks thought it would. But inflation is still high. Inflation is still like a 3x higher than it should be. 2.5x. So we'll see what happens this year, but I think it's looking good for 24-25.
Awesome. That's I think what everyone here is waiting on is 24-25.
Yeah.
All we need is one more crypto wave. I think that's what everyone's praying for, is one more crazy spike of money coming into crypto. And I believe that's what a lot of the banks and institutions are expecting as well, because they seem like they're all jockeying for position, and it seems like they're also lobbying for position right now too. Because
with regards to crypto,
we still don't have any real regulation, and it's been years. Like, it's actually been two waves since they said we're gonna put some regulation out there. We're gonna tell you guys how we're gonna tax it, how we're gonna regulate it, what we think you guys should do, what we think you guys should not be able to do. But there's still so much gray, like dark gray out there, where people are just you kind of have to hedge your bets with crypto if you're going to put your face out there and try to, if you're a bank or an institution that's going to accept crypto, you're kind of have to put one foot in, one foot out, right?
I think it's on purpose. I think that all of this has been on purpose. And I think that because, gosh, man, I've gone over so much of this stuff on stream lately. It's like BlackRock, JP Morgan, Charles Schwab, I think even eToro, a lot of big companies got together in 2019. And here's my theory. I think they took Bitcoin serious in 2016, 2017, 2018. And they said, oh, okay, this is legit. This is here to stay. Let's FUD the shit out of the market to give us time to build the infrastructure to take over the market here in 2023, 2024, 2025. So JP Morgan and all those big players, there's like 5 or 7 major institutions. They all got together and they put in money to build the infrastructure for an exchange called Members Exchange, MEMEX. Okay. And this is all verifiable. You can look it up. And there's a reason why you don't hear about it, because the banks don't want you to hear about it. But anyway, why in the hell would all these major banks come together and work together in cooperation with each other? Okay, unless they were serving a single master. And that single master is the United States government, the Federal Reserve. They got together, they threw funds together, they created the infrastructure, and then they launched EDX, which was just recently. So this is going to be the exchange that all these institutions are allowed to use to trade Ethereum, to trade Litecoin, to trade Bitcoin Cash, to trade Bitcoin. All right. And this has been the plan for a long time. So they've actually used the United States government, in my opinion, the SEC. They've used them as an enforcement and regulatory tool to suppress competition and to destroy competition. They use the strong arm of the government. Why do I think that? Because I didn't hear anything from those fools when they were coming down on Binance. I didn't hear anything from those fools when they're coming down on Coinbase. I didn't hear anything from those fools when they're on Gemini's case or Poloniex or any of those folks, okay? And they certainly didn't see Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. And why is that? Well, it's because it came out, 120 different congressional members had gotten some sort of campaign donation from FTX. It's like, man, and if you check my Twitter today, man, I am just blown away about how clueless a lot of these influencers are. And people would call me like a woman hater after today because I tagged like 2 or 3 female crypto influencers. But it just so happens that was the content that Twitter was giving me. But these people are clueless. They just don't understand. They think that BlackRock, like, who was it? Wendy O basically said, follow the money. They said BlackRock wants to destroy the traditional banking system so they can take over. I'm like, no, that's not what it is. BlackRock has to work in conjunction with the Federal Reserve. That inflation is what makes them so rich. And that's why they've been at the top of their game for so many years. They don't want to destroy it. They want to preserve it, and they want to absorb crypto. So, man, there's a lot has happened, dude. A lot has happened. I could keep going, but I'm not. Shut up.
So when do you think the switch flips? You said that they were going to FUD the heck out of it so they can build their infrastructure, kind of like get a circle or a monopoly around a lot of the gates in and out, the on ramps and off ramps. That seems to be where everyone's kind of chasing right now, right? Like, for instance, OX Coast, they're switching banks right now. Like, I was really excited to start using them to on ramp and off ramp money into crypto, and their bank like bounces on them. I think, if I understand right, I could be talking out of school, but yeah, it's really hard to find someone that says. So when does it flip? When they think that they've got their position secure?
I think it's flipped. This is a stat I always quote, and people here in chat, they're going to hear me say this. They're going to roll their eyes. But back in 2018, when you looked at institutional trading versus retail trading, 80% of all the trading was actually retail. And you fast forward to 2021, and in that short amount of time, it flipped from 80% retail to 80% institutional. So what happened in that period of time? They wrecked the market because they never saw Bitcoin or crypto as a viable hedge against market downturns. They wrecked the market. They FUD the heck out of everybody. They use MSNBC and they use Fox Business to put out all these narratives to scare people out of their positions. It's never coming back. And Jamie Dimon says, screw it. And Larry Fink from Black Diamond says, BlackRock says, screw it. Okay, screw crypto. It's disgusting. It's never coming back. And they're buying. Now, what did they do? They don't buy directly. Okay. What they do is buy up through proxy shares of companies that are purchasing Bitcoin and adding massive amounts of Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Guess who owns 10% of that? 150,000 Bitcoin now that MicroStrategy has? BlackRock. BlackRock owns it. Okay. Now, you might think I'm crazy, but I tweeted it out yesterday with the actual paperwork and the documents that proves what I'm saying is true. And MicroStrategy, if you remember, your boy Michael Saylor started having all these conferences and inviting all these big companies to teach them how to integrate Bitcoin into their balance sheets. All right. All that stuff is by design, dude. All that stuff is by design. I get really pissed off lately because I came to this epiphany, and I should probably take it easy on folks, but I came to this epiphany and I'm like, it's not even an epiphany. It's just right in front of me. Guys, this is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. They have all the money in the world to hire all the brains in the world, and they could put 1,000 brains in one problem, and it's a massive force multiplier. Who the heck are we, crypto bros on Twitter, to say they don't know what they're talking about or they don't know what they're doing? They're surgically,
or they're not going to get their way.
Right, or they're not going to get their way. They're surgically intelligent. Surgically, okay? They're extremely wise. Why? Because businesses don't die when people die. Okay, the ideas and the lessons learned pass from generation to generation within the business, so they get better and better and better at what they do. And businesses are treated as entities as well, like regular human beings. So I put something out today that says you got to know thy enemy. Okay, don't underestimate these folks. Don't think that you know better than them. They understand what they're doing. They have cornered the market. They flipped the switch. They're going to get approved for the Bitcoin ETF. It's so funny to see Litecoin as one of these things that they're offering, because from a technological standpoint, it's garbage. But from an SEC standpoint, it's not garbage because it's a fork of Bitcoin. There's a halving period and all that sort of thing. So, man, there's a lot to go into there. Yeah.
We got Adam from Viber Finance saying rags have been crushing streams lately. Nothing wrong with the little conservative, the bunch of degenerates. And Harmonic Hexagon says, do you think mortgage rates will get back down to 3%? Been hearing that from a few places.
3%? Yeah, probably 3%. Maybe not for a couple years.
Where are we at right now? I know like HELOC's around 12%. So that's
yeah. I
usually
mean,
a few
let's
on
just
top
look at
of it.
30-year mortgage. Let's 5.5%. 30-year mortgage rates. Current 30-year mortgage rates. Oh God, it made me click Yahoo. I feel weird now.
Was Ask Jeeves not available?
Oh gosh, remember GeoCities? Okay, so now this is the game. They won't show you the rates, so you have to call them, and so they can sell you over the phone. You guys can find it. I don't know, whatever it is.
I like the fact that I just ask you, and you start using the internet, which is in front of me as well.
7.8%.
Okay, that's pretty high compared to what a lot of people locked in not that long ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. It's pretty low.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on a lot of things. It depends on the mortgage type, how much money you're putting down, like all that sort of thing. But the average is going to stay pretty high for at least the next 3 years. I think they're going to raise interest rates next month and the month after. Potentially pause next month, but there's going to be 2 more this year, I think. And then after that, they're going to chill for a while, probably like 6 months. And then we might not see interest rates actually cut until later next year or 2025.
Yeah. And how long do you think it'll take? How long do you think they'll cut for? Because they usually only cut a quarter at a time, right?
Yeah. So for them, it's like the whole Titanic thing, inertia. So they got to see the trajectory of inflation at a certain angle, a certain like steepness, right? And once they see that energy and that inertia heading down, I'd say we probably start seeing cuts, maybe around 3%, because they don't want to go too crazy. They don't want deflation to happen. So they'll cut it to make it a little bit more buoyant, make the economy more buoyant, and then it kind of rises back up slowly, hopefully. Soft landing is what they like to say. Soft
landing.
Yeah.
I love that. I want to say a shout out to Mobius. It's good to see you, man. David Lee, always a pleasure. Terrence in the house. Torrens in the house. Inflation is the money, he says. And Harmonic Hexagon says it's already been approved. ...
Yeah, depends on your situation there. That's good.
Now, personally speaking, I was expecting faster and cheaper pulse chain, based on the 2 years that we waited for it. Not to lose my Hexagon card or anything like that, but
careful, man, because they're pulling those Hexagon cards left and right now. You gotta be careful, bro.
I put it in my name. I tattooed it on my arm. They can't get it off my. I'm a Hexagon for life, but like I said,
you're not a real Hexagon. You're not real, dude.
No, I mean really, the pulse chain, we were expecting more, I think, as a community than we got, if we're being honest. Yeah. That's not to say that it can improve and that RH doesn't have some more tricks inside of his sleeve to make things better. And I'm still holding on to a lot of pulse myself. But what do you think is the play here when the bull market goes full steam again? Ethereum network gets congested. Fees are $300 to $3,000 to get stuff up. A lot of people a lot of onboards that I've helped had some stakes coming out recently, and the fees on a good day are $100 to $200, and the stake's worth $10. Right. So there's a lot of people are just letting those little stakes bleed right now. But when we go back into full force, is Pulse Chain going to be attractive enough for people to come over and play on Pulse Chain compared to Ethereum, do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be like, if you look at the dollar value right now, it's 2 cents, 2 or 3 cents to transact. I had my first Hex stake actually end while you were away. It was in June.
Mhm.
So I was able to take that and restake it, and it was very reasonable. Here, the bottom line is Pulse Chain is going to be a really cool place to transact until it's not. Okay, until maybe 5 to 10 years down the road when it's full, just like Ethereum is. And hopefully by that time, better technologies come out, and there's ways to decrease that load or speed things up. So this buys us time. It's a good alternative in every single way. The big frustration here for me is the fact that you had so many people that were hell bent on Pulse Chain failing, and unfortunately, a lot of those folks they just ride the tide. They ride the wave. Whatever's happening in the moment, they never look backwards or look forwards. Um, and they cause a lot of mess. They cause a lot of mess with a lot of people. You had another thing where you had the Zen folks. They're, what did he say? I talked to Jack Levin, and he used the term forced evolution. So he wants to cause pain to these chains that don't scale at L2. He wants to cause pain to force them to evolve. Okay. And that's just his marketing ploy to say, hey, now I have a chain that isn't as bad as all of these things that I hurt. So why don't you come over here? So he did that right when we launched. The bridge, there's a massive amount of demand to be able to bridge in things and get some of that cheap pulse and cheap pulse chain. And the bridge wasn't exploited. The bridge was slow. Shout out to the Pulse Burn guy. I mean, is it Pulse Burn? GoPulse.com maybe? Yeah, GoPulse.com. I think that he created a really, really cool like graphic to show how much has been pushed through compared to how much is backlogged. Guys, this is blockchain. You're going to sacrifice some things in terms of blockchain, especially when there's high levels of demand. And you're going to sacrifice speed, and it's going to be backed up. That's just the name of the game. But it launched. And I think that it was a good move to go to ETH 2.0. I think it's good because they're going to be able to collaborate with the Ethereum developers. They're also going to be able to benefit from the upgrades that are pushed out. I think that's really good. And if you listen to any Richard's videos, Richard said everything that happened, he says was going to happen. He's like, we're launching minimum viable right now. Okay. They launched minimum viable with ETH 2.0. They launched minimum viable with PulseX. He says, once we do that, we got minimum viable product. We're going to build and scale out from there slowly over time. And that's exactly what he's done. So if I'm keeping things in perspective, I wasn't upset with any of this. I'm actually impressed that Pulse Chain, for example, is holding up as well as it is in terms of sacrifice price. Hex, considering what's been happening with the markets broadly, Hex is doing well. I think it found its floor. I think is it outperforming Pulse Chain right now? PulseX isn't going to do its thing until there's a lot of volume, until people start getting interested in crypto again. So I'm expecting that. My expectations have been met. I didn't have very high expectations in the first place, and that's not a diss. It's just I felt like what happened is exactly what was supposed to happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, and let me clarify. My disappointment is not with the price
Got it.
performance. It's with the speed and the test net that we played with, where basically we had free transactions that were happening in the twinkle of an eye. And we're still that's really what I'm comparing it to. Davis says, I don't know how people think we get a 20x into deep bear. Wow, people look back on this opportunity and wish they saw more clearly and bought. Yeah, I definitely think that the people that are DCAing in and putting their money in now are going to be very happy in the future. Very, very happy.
Yeah, I think so.
Sure.
Gosh, man, everybody's been washed out. And it's like you take a really big reputational risk by attaching your name to a blockchain, but I just don't feel like it's very risky to do this because everything in the industry is going up, up, up. I put up a chart last week. This was crazy, dude. Put up a chart. Everybody's fudding crypto and everybody's fudding Pulse Chain and Ethereum. It's all going away. Screw DeFi. I think over the past 4 years, the average amount of money, past 4 or 5 years, that was spent on crypto is somewhere in the range of like $3 or $4 billion per year. Okay. That's development, that's infrastructure, and that's VC. In 2024, the projection for 2024, based on where we are right now, is $20 billion, dude. 20 billion. It's like a 4 or 5x in 1 year. And this, I also pull for the evidence of BlackRock and Larry Fink going on Fox Business yesterday and saying cryptocurrency and specifically Bitcoin are international assets and should be taken seriously. And there's demand for that. That is crazy. That didn't get enough press because that's never happened before. Okay. Jamie Dimon talks a lot of trash, but they're back there doing DeFi since 2019. So I think that Pulse Chain is in the best possible situation right now. The bottom of the worst bear ever. It's because they turned the money printers back off. Yes, we had a 10-year run because they kept inflation going and going and going. That's the point of the Federal Reserve, to keep it going, not to throttle it, believe it or not. So,
yeah, Torn says, I'm happy with the Pulse price considering the cycle timing, like you were saying. Archie says, I'm pretty happy with all things considered. The chain works great. Accumulation time. So,
I think
I agree with both
a transfer right now is actually less than a penny, I think. I think it's like 9/10 of a penny, and then I think a PulseX swap is 4 or 5 cents.
Yeah. And early up here, Torn was referring to sharding to tricks up your sleeve. But we've also heard RH talk about you don't build a bigger gas station, you build a second gas station. Mm-hmm. Clearly he's never been to Texas or Buc-ee's. But there's definitely a lot to that, to where if we did fork, if Pulse Chain was forked due to congestion, I'm guessing it wouldn't be a full system state. It would just be a fork, like a second network for more of the transactions to go onto. It's not like we'd have a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth hex, at that point.
There could, I don't know the specifics of this, and I don't want to speak wrong about this, but essentially what they would do is create a layer underneath, a separate network to handle it's a transaction layer. All right. And that's what they're trying to do right now to solve what's going to be happening inevitably in between 2024 and 2026 when the market kicks back up. That's when the Pulse Chain narrative is going to shine. That's when Richard is going to be blasting Ethereum to get people over. So this is just, guys, we are at the beginning. And now, fortunately, the Bitcoin halving occurs here in 6 months, 7 months. There's a lot of positive momentum that could come from that as well. So a lot of good things looking up here.
Yeah. While SJ asks, so how the heck are we onboarding no coiners these days, fellas? I've been spending all of my time consoling the people that I got in at 40 cents and 30 cents. Personally, I've just been like, hey, hang on. This is normal. This is crypto. If it's going to go up as high as we hope it will, it's going to come down. And, it's definitely come down quite a bit. But if you were going to onboard someone, now is the time. Now's the time to walk them through, picking up all this stuff off the floor, right?
Yeah, you do what she's doing, and she's running around the country, and I'm going to be speaking at the Pulse Chain tour. Okay, so that's that's in September. Actually, speaking at 2 stops, and hopefully the highest of stakes comes out at some point. That's going to be cool. And then we're going to ride the wave of marketing that BlackRock creates for us, and all these big institutions getting into trading, and maybe an ETF has passed. And then you've got somebody like Sam Kemp, who's part of an organization that actually, I think, Sam, if I'm not mistaken, that organization grew by 40 or 50,000 members this year. I think part of kind of what we did helped that out. But he's going to be teaching people in his organization all about crypto. Okay, so it just takes, what is it, in Shawshank Redemption, Andy Dufresne talks about time and pressure when referring to rocks. If you got enough time and just enough pressure, you're going to make a breakthrough. You're going to cut through that rock. So that's what we're doing. Time and pressure. We're staying the course. And one of the cool things about this whole community that people have seemed to forgotten is the reason that we win is because, as a community, is because our time frames are in 15 and 20-year chunks, multiple decades. All right, and that's been lost on a lot of people. It started with Hex, 15-year stakes, 5. That's the timelines, the time horizons you need to be using. Texan takes it out a little bit further for various reasons. It's 2 decades, 22 years. So that's why we win, and that's why the people who haven't washed out, who are still doing cool things, they're going to build the framework and they're going to build the vehicle and the vessel to take us forward, in my opinion.
Wild SEO says, I asked because someone I met on tour emailed me, said he downloaded Metamask, wants the next step. What the heck is the next step? I would say at this point, the next step is going to pulsechain.com and downloading that over dealing with the Ethereum stuff right now, personally.
Yeah. So what I've found, and SJ, you've been on the road a lot, you probably know better than me, but what I've found personally is actually gifting folks crypto is probably the best, just a small amount to pique their curiosity. If they're past that step, they can do the MetaMask thing. Make sure you know how to on-ramp and off-ramp, and then use the basics, use the bridge to get folks in. Now, I think, what is it, guys? What's the website? Is it, yeah, it's gopulse.com and click buy PLS, and they allows you to skip a bunch of steps that otherwise would really trip people up. I'll shill my stuff too, mycryptoclassroom.com. I created that specifically for folks in crypto, and there's no mention of any projects in there that, like, I'm not shilling Texan, for example. I just talk about crypto generally, so you could send them there. That's absolutely free. And just kind of be there for them. And people are going to choose to hop on or not. The ultimate marketing tool, as you know from reading SciVive, is just making people rich. Okay, those are the folks that go on to talk about your thing quite a bit, and that's how you can help change things. And we got to do that right now. That's what we're doing.
Thanks to Chase Jonathan. Hit the likes. He says, I'm honored that 45 people are here watching us after my amazing technical skills and internet connection. It's just doesn't feel like working today. And again, I really appreciate Rags taking time to come on my little humble channel and shoot it, man.
Just stop it. You're happy to be back, streaming, smiling. You're happy.
I am. I owe a lot to X-Ray Chick. She's like, I finally got your channel looking decent, and then you disappear for a few months.
Like,
nobody cares
about her. Don't talk about her here. Gotta deal with her enough.
I will say one thing. Out of all my onboards, you have the onboards that are continuing to look and learn, right? Like, so you have a bunch of onboards that'll hit you up and say, hey, I had trouble bridging this, or I had trouble, or I'm trying to figure out the test net, right? And then you have onboards that are like, hey, come over to my house and tell me how to do this again. Like, literally tell me how to find MetaMask. Help me find my seed words. Help me like start from scratch again. And there's just not enough time to babysit people in this market. You know, like you're either going to have to manage their crypto for them, which a lot of us really don't want that responsibility, or you're going to have to switch over to, you know, those people that are watching YouTube and are learning and are trying to overcome this learning curve. The people that are watching mycryptoclassroom.com, those are the people that I choose to spend my time with these days. You know? Yeah.
And it's cool. I get notifications when a new person signs up, just says somebody signed up, and it happens every day. So the thing here is I've got to make sure that I guard my time and I use my time in the most productive way possible for the best outcome possible. And for me, that is scaling the information that comes out of my mouth and off my fingertips through different means, newsletter or YouTube or Twitter. I try to scale that out as much as possible. And the videos are really, really helpful because I'll send people videos about questions that I've been asked. And then it's like, if they want to follow up, then they'll ask me. Okay. If they don't, I'll never hear from them again. And most people, I hate to say this, but 80% or 90, no, it's probably 95% of the people who ask you about crypto never follow through with anything. So there is kind of like like a trial by fire. I say, okay, if you're serious about this, do this first and then come back to me. And then they do that thing, and then they come back to me and say, okay, now that I can tell you're a little bit serious, let's see if you're really serious. Do this thing, tell me about this, and then come back to me. So I put it on them because I'm not going to make these decisions for them. And this is something that they need to understand in order to get involved. I don't like this blind following. I want people to know what's happening here. So that's kind of how I approach it with folks. And sometimes it's a little bit of it's like the school of hard knocks in a way, but there's a reason why that actually has worked for such a long time in society, I believe.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I call that the Karate Kid approach, right? You're telling someone to wax on and wax off for an afternoon, and then they come back to you, and now they can, block a punch or something like that. Where if they just sit there and doing nothing, they're not going to be able to handle a lot of the craziness that crypto brings your way.
You want to try. You think you can save people, but it's not. They got to save themselves. And maybe you're planting a seed that'll grow later, germinate later.
Yeah. Davis says I send screenshots of my new buys to my onboards to reassure them that I feel everything is okay by putting my money where my mouth is. We got the link up there, David Lee. For me, it's how you gentlemen deliver info: accurate, acute, and accessible. Chase Jonathan likes alliteration. He also says, hope you're having fun. Safe travels, SJ. Yeah, definitely. So Sam Kemp, he says he swears by mycryptoclassroom.com courses, learn crypto. I love that. I know a couple other Hexicans that there are a couple other courses in our community that are really good. And I know there are some others that are going to be coming out that'll be, so whatever your flavor is, whoever you learn the best from, you're going to have several choices of who to follow and who to send to your onboards. So that's great.
Yeah. Shout out to Tex and OG Day One. I mean, this guy is an example of somebody who just took the bull by the horns, and he just, I won't say it, but he cracks me up sometimes. He gets in, he knows enough to be able to argue with people now. And when you can start arguing with people about something, you know it okay. So I got a lot of respect for him. He just consumes all the knowledge he possibly can about what's happening in crypto, and that's going to serve him very well in the future. And that's the type of person that I like working with. I want people that they feel that something wrong. Okay, I like the people that they know that something's wrong. And instead of not doing anything, they go searching for the answer. And there's an answer out there, and they'll find it. And that's what this guy's doing. So
definitely
kudos.
Now, how long has Texan been live? Texan launched on
January 6th. So was it January, February, March, April, May, June, July, 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
So 6 months today. It's pretty cool.
So there might be some hopping and popping going on with people trying to front run the halving in the crypto markets with Bitcoin, Ethereum. You'll see some little run-ups, or maybe we'll see something crazy like the +1 token that pumped Bitcoin from 3K to 13K, and no one even knew what the heck was going on in the last bear market. So you never know what's going to happen, but I'm excited to see how many people are going to take a scraping strategy there. They'll get their little 5%, the first crop off their Texan, and kind of see like who cashes out, who restakes. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch the Texan ecosystem, I think. Not to get any forward-looking price statements or action coming out of your mouth, but it's definitely interesting that you've got 6 months to go before first people can just take their little scrape of 5%, or they can delay gratification, wait another year, and now they've got 11% to scrape, and that's nothing to sneeze at right there.
Yeah, here's what's interesting about Texan. I'm not naive. I'm not under any spell to think that Texan is just absolutely killing the game right now. Okay, but because it's not killing the game right now. We've got a small community of people. We're actually very tight. We all care about each other. We understand what the mission is. And the mission in cryptocurrency is community and survival. That's what it is right now. Okay. We've got 5,000 stakers. Okay. 5,000 stakers that have purchased, and it's going. I was like 5,500. I could check. But these folks are going to be the folks that reap the benefits and reap the rewards. And they're going to be the folks that go out and say, hey, there's something a little bit different out there. Okay. And it's different for these reasons. It's different for this mission, this purpose that it's here for. It's different in that, the community, I really focus on telling people to just be gracious with folks. All right. And don't add to the chaos and don't add to the drama on any social media or anything like that. We just want adults. We want grownups. I always have told people to stay away if you're not that person, because I don't want that person. It's because those adults, it's because those grownups, those people who are steady, they're going to be around for the longest. And these are the same people that have been following Matt and I for a long time. And they actually understand the stated purpose and the stated mission for what we're doing and the organization that we're a part of and how we're actually trying to move things in the right direction in the world. Okay. And it's not just about money. It's about affecting some sort of change. Who was it? It was like Aristotle or Plato or Socrates, a man who moves the world must first move himself. And that's what we got to do. We got to move ourselves first before we make anything happen. We're here for the long haul. I'm excited about it. I'm very excited. We're a very nascent project in the bottom of Brutal Bear, and our community is just sticking in there strong. I love it.
Yeah, I love that. Texan Tailgates is too my favorite. Also, Texan is dope. The mission is the vision. The vision is the future. The future is bright.
Love it.
Couldn't have said it better. I love that positivity. Thank you very much. And then David Lee, I think, meant to say freedom and God, but it's freedom and good. It's good. God is good, right? That's what they say. Yeah. So it says people care until their mortgages due. That's true. It's the vision. That's the hex ray vision. Yeah. I didn't know how powerful the word vision was going to be when I chose this handle, but a lot of it has to do with the vision of what you want for yourself and what you think you can do as a community. So DJ Cryptomatic is in the house.
Yeah, it's cool too, man, because I started, this is one of the narratives that I've started talking about recently. I'm like, when you look across crypto and you look at the Texan contract, 99.9% of crypto can't shake a stick at what we have in that contract. And, for legal reasons, it's kind of difficult for me to really go into super, super detail about that until things kind of blow over from a regulation standpoint. But I'll just say this, man, you can go to any of my YouTube videos. At the bottom, it says all my links. You can go in there. You can ask questions in Telegram. You can check out videos that we've done in the past about it. It's a very, very powerful contract. And it's different. It's not the same as everything. Yes, there are features that mimic Hex, for example, time locking. That's important. So Hedron has time locking, and Pulse Bitcoin has time locking, and just everything that comes out now is having time locking. I did a newsletter on how DeFi is shifting. It's called LS DeFi. Okay, so this is liquid staking and time locking for rewards or some type of liquidity. So guys, this is we're ahead of the game in terms of the rest of crypto, and we're ahead of the game because of Richard. This whole community is, and then all the builders are creating things that are ahead of the game. It's trustless. There are no admin keys. It's actually real DeFi. Real DeFi exists on Pulse Chain, and it's a beautiful, wonderful thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's good to see Hex Farmer here. And earlier, someone was asking when RH wallet, and the first thing I thought to myself is, God, I hope never, because I'm so sick of waiting for RH products. I love them all. I'm a big fan of them all. But the truth is, we have so many people in our community working on wallets, working on exchanges, working on, what's the word I'm looking for? Loaning systems, like you were saying earlier.
Like DeFi protocols. Yeah,
DeFi protocol, using your crypto as
Collateral.
collateral versus shooting yourself in the foot, paying taxes, and trying to get out of there without pushing the price against yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of energy in there, and we've seen the energy kind of get sucked out of the room by some of the price action lately. So
one of the arguments one of the things that you hear that everybody always throws in my face or throws in anybody's face in Pulse Chain that's building, they say you've stolen economic energy from Hex. Okay. And then I sit back and think, let's think about this logically for a second. All right. The price was already down 75% before any of these projects had sacrifices. Okay. Whose fault is it? All right. Is the blame being shifted to the people who are building? All right. Are some people shifting the blame to Richard Hart? Or could the blame actually be the fact that this happens every bear market and altcoins drop 90% plus? All right. Taking economic energy away. If people wanted to put $250,000 in, they would have done that. But they're not going to, because most people aren't dumb in that way when price is going down forever. So that's just a point that I wanted to make. Okay. And I also say this in terms of the money that went to the Texas nationalist movement directly to them, it didn't enrich Matt and I, went straight to them for their efforts. It's $1.5 million, guys. Can you guys tell me how much $1.5 million is in terms of daily trading for Hex? Most people can't. It sounds like a big number. It's not a big number. $1.5 million is not a big number in the grand scheme of things. It's not even a half. It's not even a pixel of a daily candle on Hex with buying and selling. So, you just got to put things in perspective. We got to remind people this is a bear market. And everybody's trying to blame and shift blame on the people who are taking profits. These OGs who have tons and tons and tons, they shouldn't be selling either. No, guys, that's not how this game goes. And if you can't handle that emotional status, then you really should not be in this game, or you should find a better teacher.
Well said.
Yep.
Man, I like I said, I really appreciate you coming and stopping by. Again, I apologize for technical difficulties. You guys are an amazing audience, an amazing community, and it sounds silly to say this, we're so early, because you hear it over and over and over again. But I mean, I was there when Bitcoin was $150.
Yeah.
That's when I was turned on to crypto. Like, these day traders were like, hey, Bitcoin just crashed, we think this is the bottom. And it was a 2014, 2015 bottom of that cycle. Right. I don't even know how much Ethereum was. Like, how many cycles has Ethereum had? 3. I think this was the third. This was the
2016,
third cycle.
Right? Mm-hmm. Or 20. Yeah.
Well, actually,
2014.
Ethereum was coming out when I was trying to wrap my head around Bitcoin. So everyone was buying Ethereum for 20 cents, 30 cents.
Yeah.
And I was like, shut your mouth. I want to learn about Bitcoin, because I didn't know anything. I should have been buying Ethereum at 20 or 30 cents back then. But you learn every cycle, you learn very painful mistakes, very expensive mistakes, but every cycle you do a lot better. It's exponential,
Gosh.
And so,
dude,
when I say we're early, I mean we're early. When you guys are complaining about 1.5 million getting taken out of Hex, that's going to sound so silly one day, right?
It sounds silly now to me, but that's because I pay attention to that stuff. It's going
to sound even sillier. Hindsight's 2020. And so again, I'm glad to be here with you guys. Thanks for hanging out. We're gonna call this. We're gonna wrap it up, because we've said a lot. I've got a lot of clips here to chop up and put out there for the people that don't want to sit through an hour long stream. Especially when 20 minutes of me talking like a robot or going in and out. So we chop.
Well, hold on, David. I got to show. All right, Davis.
Go for it.
I gave him a wrench, but you weren't around, dude. So this is what you have to do to get a wrench on my channel.
Okay. Whoa. Holy cow. That's beautiful.
Is that awesome or what, dude?
That's really, really cool.
Yeah. So anybody can get a wrench on my channel if you're willing to bend the knee and give me something beautiful and expensive. Thank you.
That is beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't even know if I have any music to do an awkward wave goodbye because I went down to the cheap stuff, but here we go. Let's just wave goodbye awkwardly to our beautiful audience. Tell them thank you for stopping by.
I feel like I'm Princess Diana right now, like in heaven.
You look like you're about to have surgery for carpal tunnel. Is what you look like. I love you guys. We will see you again. I've got some more interviews and streams planned. Thank you again for stopping by. Love you guys, and we will catch you guys later. See ya.